discuss about the first Bhavna, Anitya Bhavna. It means the impermanence of the world. Under reflection of Anitya Bhavna, one thinks that everything in this world, such as life, youth, wealth, assets, etc., are temporary or subject to change. Nothing in this universe is permanent, even though this whole universe is permanent or constant. Hence, the spiritual value of Anitya Bhavna will help to break all worldly attachments to achieve soul's ultimate freedom and stability. We can learn about Anitya Bhavna with a very small example by a story named Bharat Chakravarti. There are 24 Tirthankars in the history of Jain tradition. Lord Rishabh was the first one. He performed hard penance and finally achieved the Keval Gyan. After attaining Keval Gyan, he decided to visit different places and spread the messages of peace and truth. Once, when he was delivering his sermon in Bharat's kingdom, thousands of peoples gathered there to listen to him. Among them was Lord Rishabh's eldest son Bharat. While delivering the sermon, Lord Rishabh declared that I am the first Tirthankar in this descending era. Marudeva, my mother, will definitely achieve emancipation in this birth itself. And the third one is Bharat, my son, will be a Chakravarti during his rule and will achieve emancipation later. The crowd doubted the truth of this declaration and found it hard to believe. However, one of them gathered enough courage to proclaim his doubts and said to Lord Rishabh, it is intelligible as well as digestible that you are the first Tirthankar and Marudeva, your mother, the first soul to attain emancipation. But how is it possible for your eldest son Bharat to be a Chakravarti first and then achieve emancipation later? Bharat, who heard this statement very carefully, remained very calm. Suddenly a light flashed in his mind and he hit upon a plan. The very next day, he invited that particular person to his palace. In order to make him understand the truth, he ordered him to walk all around the town with a bowl filled oil. He then said to the man, if even a single drop of oil falls on the ground, you will be hanged to death then and there itself. To distract his attention, the whole town was brilliantly illuminated with sparkling lamps. Colored candles were fitted into various types of glass globes and bulbs of different shapes were used. The whole kingdom was lit from top to bottom with bright rows of lights. Besides, people also used flowers and glitters to enhance the decoration. At a distance of every 50 meters, several dance shows, magic shows, musical shows, circus shows, and fairs were organized. The entire kingdom presented a grand and fascinating appearance, and the scene intoxicated people with excitement. The entire scene was exhilarating. All this really disturbed and frightened the man with the bowl filled with oil. But anyhow, as per the king's order, he took the bowl in his hands and started walking around the town. While walking through the city, he could only see death coming towards him. To prevent the oil from falling, he concentrated only upon his bowl and the oil in it. He did not even once look up to admire the grand and festive look of the town. Now, finally he returned to the king's palace happily without spilling even a drop of oil. Bharat asked him, what do you see in the town? Did you notice the grandeur and festivity around yourself? Didn't you enjoy the dance, drama, music, circus, or fairs? The man gave a reply in negation. Bharat felt very happy and satisfied with the success of his plan. He then explained to the man, just as the fear of death made you concentrate only the task entrusted to you, and hence you performed it carefully and effectively, in the same manner I am also conscious of the long tradition of death. Although I am a Chakrabarti, I am not attached to my property, power, and worldly desires. The man understood what Bharat had tried to convey to him. He repented and, after asking for forgiveness, went away. The virtue of detachment was unique in Bharat. He spent a long period of time taking care of the administration of his kingdom. One day, Bharat entered his room and dressed up carefully, adorning his body with his luxurious, glittering royal clothes and unique precious jewelries. He often entered the Adarsh Graha, a room made up of mirrors, and admired the beauty of his clothes and ornaments. He sat on his throne and, facing the east, started admiring his beauty in the mirror with great concentration and devotion. He felt delighted and relaxed at the reflection of his physical beauty. Meanwhile, a ring from one of his fingers slipped off and fell on the ground. He was so engrossed in admiring his beauty and admiring his body that he did not notice it. Suddenly he saw empty finger and felt that it looked ugly. At once he realized the fact that it was the small ring which made him ugly. This meant that if all the ornaments were removed from his body, he would become ugly and unattractive. So he began removing his ornaments and glittering royal clothes one by one, and found that his body was quite ugly and unpleasant. He said to himself, "This means people only please and admire because they are impressed by my outer glittering effect. They cannot perceive the inner beauty of my body and soul." Bharat then seriously contemplated on the mortality of the body. The realization that evolved thereby helped him to destroy his karma completely and achieve emancipation without practicing severe penance. And thus, all the prediction of Lord Bishop proved to be true. So, how detached Bharat was. So, from the example of Bharat, we can understand the impermanence of the world. We should also think to ourselves that this world is temporary and we should not get attached to anything. Om Arham.